In about a month, it will be 3 years from the first gun I bought. At the time, I looked online and looked at pictures and listening to opinions of more experienced shooters, and I decided on a pistol. I wanted this pistol, and it came from a list of a few. On there, I remember there was the Strike One, I think it was the PPQ was on my list. Also the Karkal and the Canik. It's a Turkish model. You're probably familiar with it if you're watching this. And by the way, the gun show that I went to at that time to buy the gun, it sucked. It was $14 at the door. Ammo was expensive and the boxes were limited. And overall, there was no 22 at all at the show. I remember going through some of the booths, and there was a booth that sold coins and one that sold zombie killing weapons. They had like a pickaxe and other stuff. It was really weird. Nothing to do with guns. They shouldn't have been there, in my opinion. In fact, there was a booth that wasted about 6 tables on selling some kind of pay-as-you-go smartphone and accessories. They had like their display girls up there, and people and some of the shooters were, flirting with the girls and stuff at the table, but I just didn't get why they were there. Amidst of all the sucking, I found this. And if you're wondering what this is, well, first of all, this is what my friend calls a Snuggie for guns. Yeah, don't ask me where you get this. It's not that great. But I got this. The P99. And, yeah, it's a nice gun. The magazines are expensive, though. That's one of the downsides. And they don't produce this gun anymore. So I kind of wanted it just because it was unique. I didn't see too many people had it. And it looked cool. I wanted a recreational 40 cal for going to shoot. So that gun fit the bill. I was happy with that purchase. But that gun's not why I'm making the video. It does include in the backstory of my mistake, though. I was high on the purchase, excited about what I had just purchased at the gun show, and definitely wasn't thinking clearly. I later stopped at a local gun shop to ask some questions, and they had a catalog there. And I was looking through the catalog, and there's a lot of mistakes that I made here that I'm going to go ahead and go over in probably a part 2 of this video. And I ended up picking up a gun that I didn't even look at beforehand. I didn't have in mind at all of really what I was looking for. I thought maybe a recreational gun that was like cheap on ammunition so I could go out shooting a lot. Since I'm a part-time student, I definitely had a budget in mind. But I went ahead and I bought this. Which, there's another gun in here, and that's for a later review. Here to come. I got this. I can't believe I bought this gun. Why did I do it? In case you don't recognize this gun, that is the 702 Plinkster from Mossberg. Wah, wah. The first mistake I made was I bought 2 guns in one day, and I mean that's fine if you want to buy 2 guns in one day. That's perfectly fine, especially if you find a deal. But for me, I mean, I got a great deal on this one, but this one I paid just about MSRP on it, and I had to make this video. I had to be a voice in the confusion, and it really pains me if anyone else is making that same mistake that I made 3 years ago. So, the 702 Plinkster, it's a really gimmicky, all plastic rifle. It is lightweight because of all the plastic, but it's gimmicky. It has a ATI stock that you saw on the back, and although it looks like it's 6th position, it's pinned, so it doesn't move at all, and that that sucks. In some locales, you have to have a pin stock, so that's not such a big downside, but over here it is. The charging handle on it, you see right here, that thing's fake. Yeah, that is a fake charging handle. I have no idea why they put that on the gun if it doesn't make sense. And there's a pistol grip on here, an A2 pistol grip, non-removable. The mag release is super awkward if you try to get to it. You have to do a mag change with 2 hands. There's no way to do it with one. And there is bolt hold open on the last shot, but let me show you. Oh, that thing is stuck in there. Yeah, it's laughable. So anyway, those are some of the big downsides with that gun. It's terrible. I'm regretting it all over again. The magazines, by the way, the magazines are really stupid. Dumb design. They're super bulky at the bottom for no reason. It's only to make it look like it's a full 223-556 mag. It just doesn't make any sense. You're adding so much bulk at the bottom, and it's just really clumsy when you try to reload it. Obviously, you saw that. So, moving on, up here on the gun, these quad rails are plastic, and they're pretty ridiculous, but I mean, it does save you some weight, and as obviously this isn't a defensive rifle, so they're a good option. And the barrel's fine. The barrel's actually pretty accurate. This rifle was really accurate. I've shot it up to probably 75 to 100 yards max. And the barrel's fine. It's an accurate rifle from what I understand. Friends I went out with, they shot it fine. And on the tip there, that's an actual 22 caliber flash hider. So A2 flash hider. So yeah, it's laughable. And what do you do after you make such a purchase? What do you do with a rifle like this? Well, first of all, my biggest mistake was I didn't have any philosophy in mind on what I wanted as far as features go on a rifle. I wasn't even sure of the caliber. In fact, I got a 22 rifle the same day that I went to a local gun show that didn't have any 22. I mean, political stuff aside, that's just dumb to do. I really wanted a 22 for the economy of the round, but when there's none to be had, you might as well just wait. So far, I've put just under 350 rounds through this thing in 3 years, partially due to ammo, and then partially just because I got other guns that were far more interesting. Basically, to me, there's so many guns that are better than this. I don't know too many others that are worse. And so basically, what do you do after you make a purchase like this? I went to my local gun shop. They didn't want it back. Other gun shops didn't want it either, even for their used section. And I went on GunBroker, a couple of other sites. There's a bunch on there already. Tons of people selling them for half the price of what MSRP says it's for. And no one's buying them, as far as I see. The reason being is because although this has all the accessories of what would be essentially an AR-15 chambered in 22 long rifle, none of them work. I mean, it's the same as pretty much any other 22 rifle. It just happens to look like an AR-15 casing, all plastic. And So definitely the philosophy on this recreational plinking gun, just as it says. And if you're thinking maybe how I coped with this purchase decision, uh, I was, and if you're thinking about what I would do with this rifle, if you thought about throwing it in the garbage, you're close. I actually thought about using this rifle in the future for youth shooters, for my kids in the future. They're going to be shooting age, and I really want to take this rifle out and show them. And while the rifle doesn't have the working parts such as the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522, this 702 Plinkster illustrates some basic components that a defensive rifle would have, and obviously because it looks different than your Ruger 22, than your Marlin 22, that loads differently as a 22 rifle. They'll spark up some questions on discussion on why this rifle looks different and why Dad's AR-15 is modeled the way it is, and the advantages an AR-15 would have over a Marlin 22 for self-defense. And there it kind of illustrates the point of, to your kids, future shooters, new shooters, male and female shooters that are new, it'll illustrate a point on what an AR-15 style rifle can do for them. What's its philosophy? What features it has that are particular to it.